Hey folks, Cathy Harding. I'm here with Brendan and Chiara, and they worked on the follow-up to the Morgan Harrington discovery case last week. Of course, the missing woman's body was found last Tuesday, and it's been a flurry of news reports, police investigation, and so on since then. We've got some great coverage in this week's edition. You can read it right here online. Obviously pick up a copy. Want to talk to you guys about actually the location where Morgan Harrington's remains were found. Quite a distance from the place she was last seen, the Copley Road Bridge, which is of course densely developed and heavily trafficked area. She was found in an extremely remote location of a farm in southern Albemarle. We're both out there. Talk about it a little bit.
Well, it's really just it's one clear path out to the farm, just along 29 there. But once you get out to the farm, it's sort of surrounded by a couple different spots. There's a road that runs along the back of the main piece of property owned by David Bass, who owns Anchorage Farm, where Morgan's body was found. There's also a development called Blandamar Farm Estates that is sort of north of the farm. Huge lots of land, homes in the $1 million range, all sitting on mostly 21 acres or more. And a lot of those properties sort of come right up to the edge of where Bass's property ends. But there, we heard comments about a lot of pretty steep natural divisions and then some man-made ones, some fencing between the properties. So it seems like it'd be difficult to access, the farm from those points.
And what kind of population are we talking about who lives out there typically? Are these young families, or is this a different group?
Well, it's in that development in particular, a lot of retirees. Not a lot of kids around.
Right.
Talked with a few residents who, said they probably would have noticed if there were young kids hanging out in that area. Honestly, not a lot of traffic at all. The day I spent out there, the roads were pretty clear. A pedestrian or two, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's fascinating that we've had another one of these big, heavy snowfalls just following the discovery of her body, because being in such a remote location, what with all the snow and I guess tall grass that had grown up over the course of the summer, it seems like her body was hidden for quite a long time, and could have been still even longer, but for this chance occurrence. Remind us again how David Bass came upon this body.
Well, the interesting thing about where the location where the body was found is that it's, some say, at least 1.5 miles away from the house, from the farm, per se. David Bass was with his tractor, was checking fences, feeding the cows, and he basically saw a skeleton, which he thought it was a deer. But upon further inspection, he found out that it was a human remains. So some evidence around the body made him think that was in fact a body. But of course, police is still investigating, so he wasn't really free to tell us exactly what he found.
Right.
So, but that's pretty it's pretty eerie, especially when we were out there. The entrance to the farm is right on 29 South, but we couldn't see anything. It was, it's 700 acres, so it's really a huge plot of land.
Right. Well, that day is going to have a lasting imprint in his mind.
Sure.
That's for sure. So thanks for your good reporting on this, and we will continue to follow what happens now with the collection of evidence and the search for a suspect in the Morgan Harrington case. And we wish peace to her family. I'm Cathy Harding, Chiara Canzi, Brendan Fitzgerald, all from C-VILLE. We'll see you guys next week.